welcome to the next NBC Game of the Week. This is played on a day that back then really was just a regular day, but of course in our modern world, September 11th has new meaning. And this was played September 11th, 1982 at Wrigley Field. The Montreal Expos taking on the Chicago Cubs. Forgot to print out the standings, but what I can tell you is that the Expos have gotten out to a pretty strong lead. I believe it's either 7 or 8 game lead over the Cubs. So unless the Cubs really do some damage here in this next couple of weeks, the future game of the weeks will all feature American League teams because those are the only races. The Dodgers have already wrapped up the West, and the Expos well on their way to doing that as well. So Saturday the 18th, I've got scheduled the Yankees and the Brewers because they are both right near the top. Yankees only about 3 back of the Brewers and the Red Sox. So right in there together. So we're getting a lot of Brewers. And then on the 25th, it's the Baltimore Orioles and the Brewers. So back-to-back Brewers on the 18th and 25th. So I decided I was going to switch off and not do this Cub game because of the standings, but my only alternative was to do another Yankee game or Red Sox game or Brewer game. And I was like, we don't want to have overload, so let's go ahead and stick with the original plan. We'll stick with the Expos and the Dodgers. And for the Cubs, starting pitcher will be right-hander Randy Martz, 11-10 with a 4.21 ERA. Scott Sanderson for the Expos will oppose him, 12-12, 3.46 ERA. All right, let's get everything in place and get our lineups so we can see who both teams have going for them in this game. The Expos won the game in real life 10-6. See if the Cubs can try to change that here at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. All right, so leading off for the Expos, playing left field, Tim Raines, Andre Dawson at center, Al Oliver at first, Gary Carter catching, Tim Wallach at third, Warren Camardi in right, Chris Spire at short, Doug Flynn at second, and Scott Sanderson the pitcher. And if you notice here, top 4 hitters, 3 of the top 4 are Hall of Famers, and many people believe Al Oliver should be included in that list. If he ever makes it to the Hall of Fame, then they would have 4 Hall of Famers to lead off their lineup. Pretty impressive. All right, for the Cubs, Sandberg is back at second base. He was playing third base early in the year, but he's at second base now. Larry Bowa at short, Bill Buckner at first, Leon Durham's in right, Jay Johnstone's in left. A very young Pat Tabler before he goes to Cleveland is playing third base. Mel Hall also before he goes to Cleveland is playing in center. Jody Davis the catcher, and Randy Martz on the mound. All right, so Randy Martz finishing up the warm-up tosses. And he'll be facing the Rock, not Dwayne Johnson, but the Rock, Tim Raines. He was the original Rock, I guess you could say. All right, so Tim Raines stepping to the plate and already predetermined the pitcher-catcher interaction as far as holding runners. Martz is a -1, and Jody Davis is a -1, so it's a -2 for the Cub pitchers, or for the Cub battery. It's a -2. For the Expos, Sanderson's a 0, but Gary Carter is a -3, so we got -3 for the Expo battery. So could put a damper on the running game for some. We shall see. Right now, I want to make sure everything is in place. Appears to be. I know it's supposed to be a day game in Chicago, but I'm recording this in the more towards late evening. It's a little cloudy outside, so I do need the lamp assistance, or we'd be in the dark or close to it. So here we go. Randy Martz facing Tim the Rock Raines. Game of the week, September 11th, 1982 is underway. 4-10, Randy Martz against switch hitter Raines batting left. 4-10 is a catcher X. So right off the bat, we've got a catcher X. Jody Davis is a 2E4. 2-2, that could be interesting. See if that finagles himself for a base hit. 2-2 is a W/G. More importantly, the error chance is good, 16, and he's an E4, and there is an error. How about that? 16, an E4, a 16 is a 1 base error, but let's resolve the W/G, which was the 2 and the 2. W/G with an error, E1 error batter to first, runners advance 1 base. So otherwise it would have been a squibber in front of the plate that he would have thrown the runner out at first. But instead it's an E2. E2 on Jody Davis as he tried to hurry his throw. Threw the ball away. Cubs did make 1 error in the real game. Don't know if it was this early, but there you go. All right, so Tim Raines, despite the -2 combination, he's going to give it a shot because if he gets the jump, he'll still be a 1 to 15. So it's a 2 through 6 or an 11 to get the jump for Tim Raines. It's an 8. He does not get the jump. How about that? But that was a 2. That was a 2 on the D20. And so when you're trying to get the jump, if it's a 1 or a 2, I believe I've checked the rules. Been playing so much inside pitch lately. I believe if you roll a 2, then it's a chance for a, yep, it's a possible balk if you roll a 2. So Randy Martz, but he has 0 balk range. So there's no balk, but Tim Raines does not get the jump now, so he will hold. And of course, he will be held on. Here's Andre Dawson, the batter, against Martz. 5-6. Ground ball, second base B. It's a fielder's choice. 4 to 6. Sandberg to Larry Boa. Dawson is the new runner at first, and he's just almost as fast as Tim Raines, so he's looking to get a jump as well. 2 through 5, or an 11, or a 12. Oh, no, I don't need the white die. I need the red die. Oh, the blue die, I should say. 11, he gets the jump. So he will get the jump. 19, being held makes him a 17, and then the -2 catcher combination makes him a 15. 1 to 15, he steals it. And he does. So Andre Dawson, stolen base. He steals second base, and he will be held on second base as well. Martz with the havoc, nothing going on. Here's Al Oliver, first baseman. 5-5, left-hander, ground ball, second base A. That'll move the runner to third, but now there are 2 outs. They still got to get Gary Carter, so no cinch there. Another Hall of Famer to deal with. 1, but there's no wild pitch for Martz to worry about. Go to Gary Carter. We had a 3-4. I think it's the first time off the batter card. 3-4. Pops it up to short. I think Martz had everything off his own card, but this time it's off Carter, but he catches a break, and Martz pitches around a little bit of trouble. Keeps the Expos off the board. And we go to the bottom of the first. It is Montreal nothing, and the Cubs coming to bat. Scott Sanderson finishing up the warm-up tosses, and Ryan Sandberg, will be leading things off for the Cubbies. 6-4, that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Doug Flynn. I'm sorry, it's Chris Spire. He's 3E14. Flynn's at second, Spire's at short. 3E14 for Spire. 3 and a 2, that's going to be a base hit. So Sandberg sneaks it by Spire. I don't think the 9's going to give him any trouble. E14 for a shortstop and a 9. Nope, no problems there, but it is a single. Sandberg puts it past Spire. So even the tall grass at Wrigley couldn't prevent Sandberg from sneaking it by Chris Spire. Now the question is, do you want to try to get a jump if you're Sandberg? If you do, it'll be a -5. 3 for the battery and then 2 for being held, make him a 1 to 13. They're going to try it anyway. 3 through 6, he gets the jump. He does not. It's 12, so he's got to stay where he is. And now here's Larry Boa. And with Sandberg being held, that's going to make Boa a hit and run A. So we're going to do a hit and run. And I got to remember on the super advanced hit and run, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it says here, let me read through the rules. If the white die is a 4, 5, or 6, we read the results directly off the pitcher card, and there's no hit and run to worry about. 1, 2, 3, we go to the super advanced hit and run chart. So let's see what happens with this, how they want to play this. All right, it's a 4, so it's just going to come straight off Sanderson's card. Boa's a switch hitter batting left. It's a 4-3. It's a ground ball third base X. Third baseman for the Expos, Tim Wallach. He's a 3E24. 3 and a 1. That's going to get through for a base hit. 3 and a 1 is a single 2 stars. That'll put Sandberg to third base. Runners are on the corners. Double check for an error. There's a 10 there, so I don't believe there's going to be any error to worry about. Let's see, 24. Nope, no 10 to worry about, but it's a single 2 stars. And the Cubbies have runners at the corners with nobody out. Here in the top of the first. Boa will be held, but he won't go anywhere. We'll roll for the Havoc. That's a 2. Chance of a balk or a pass ball. Since that's a 3, 1, 2, or 3, we check the balk. So Sanderson's got a balk of 2. That's a 1, so he's going to balk. Sanderson balks home a run. How about that? Boa was dancing off first and distracted him, or maybe Sandberg off a third. And it's a balk to bring in a run and move Boa to second. Takes away the double play. Tough result there. Home plate umpire got Sanderson on the balk. Sanderson not too happy about it. Here's Billy Buck. 4-3. That's another ground ball third base X. So we're right back to Wallach again. 3E24. 3 and a 12. This time he will get to that. 3 and a 12 says it is a G2 and an 11 on an E24. Nope, there's a 9 and a 12, but no 11, so it's a good play. G2 with a runner on second. What G2 says with a runner on second is, with the infield normal, says right. Right says batter, ball hit to first or second, batter is out, runner advances, ball hit to short. This is a side, ball hit to third, batter is out, runner holds. So got to hold with the ball hit to third base. 1 away. For the Bull, Leon Durham. Sanderson with the Havoc, nothing happening. Here's Durham. 6-5 against the lefty. It's a ground ball shortstop X. Buckner was being held, or was he? I'm sorry, not Buckner. Boa was being held, so the shortstop is responsible for holding the runner with the left-handed batter up. So Spire will now drop to a 4. He'll be a 4E14. 4 and a 15, that may not matter. It might make the play anyway. 4 and a 15 he does. It's G2. So it really wouldn't have mattered as it turned out. 14, and as a shortstop, Spire is a 14. 14 and a 14. Nope, there's a 15, but no 14. So it's a good play for Chris Spire. He makes the play for out number 2. Now, with the ball hit, again, it's a G2, so you're talking about, if the ball's hit to short, it says C decide. Decide says lead runner can attempt to advance a base. You don't hold out computing, but he's already in scoring position with now 2 outs. So getting over to third is really not worth the gamble, so they're going to hold him there. He could have tried it if he wanted to, but we're going to hold him up there. So he's still at second base, still in scoring position with good speed. So base hit's going to score him anyway, most likely. Johnstone, the batter, against Sanderson. 3-5. And that will score the run for sure. Johnstone on 3-5. That's a 7. That's a double for Jay Johnstone. Double to center field for Jay Johnstone. And Boa will casually cross the plate. And the Cubs now lead it 2-0 over the Expos. So they may be behind the standings, but they're getting some revenge today, at least early on. And that'll bring up Pat Tabler. Johnstone will not be held on second base. Tabler, the batter against Sanderson. Tabler in the Cubs, the few at-bats he had with the Cubs, 85 at-bats, hit .235 with a homer. So got limited duty. 1-5, but he's going to take advantage of it right here. 1-5, a 1 is a triple. So Pat Tabler will triple. 4th hit of the inning for the Cubs. They brought their hitting shoes. Johnstone will score. It's 3-0 Cubs here in the first. And that'll bring up Mel Hall. And now the Expos manager, I believe, I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was Bill Verdon, but I could be wrong. Could be I can't remember when Bill Verdon was in Houston or when he was in Montreal, so I don't really know. It was a guy named Fanning that could have been the manager. I really don't have it in front of me. It really doesn't matter. Whoever he is, he's not happy with this deficit for sure. Sanderson to Hall, 1-6 strikeout, finally gets out of the inning. But the Cubs put a big 3 spot here in the first. And I was thinking about Wrigley Field. I forgot to mention the ballpark effects. Singles are lefties 1-14, righties 1-7, home runs 1-11. So pretty decent hitting environment. So much like Fenway, almost can say a game is never over at Wrigley. 3-0 Cubs, and here's Randy Martz back out to face Tim Wallach. 3-7 for Wallach. All these hits in column 3, and he found the ground ball to second. So Sandberg is right there, 1 away. Bad break there for Mr. Wallach. And that brings up the Crow, Warren Camardi, right fielder. 5-5 is a lefty. 5-5's ground ball to shortstop X. We're looking at Larry Bowa. He's a 3, E21. 3-2. That's going to be a base hit. E21 and a 12 should be okay. It is, but it's a base hit as Camardi snuck it past Bowa. So Camardi is aboard. He will not be held. And here is Chris Spire. Nothing doing there. March to Spire. 1-2. That's a ballpark home run chance. 1 to an 11, but that's a 20. So that's just going to be a deep fly out for out number 2. So Chris Spire got into it, but not quite good enough. And Mr. Jay Johnstone puts it away right in front of the ivy. 2 down, runner still at first, Camardi. And that brings up Doug Flynn, second baseman. 6-7, righty. Fly ball to center. That's going to end the inning as it's hauled in out there by Mel Hall. And that's going to do it. Not exactly the best defensive outfield for the Cubs. They've got Johnstone in left, who's a 4, Mel Hall in center, who's a 3, E24, and then Durham, who's a 3, E13. So you got basically a couple of corner outfielders, a corner outfielder playing the center field position. You got a first baseman playing right field. So it's a hodgepodge defensively, but they're trying to make it work. And I guess in 82 it did to some extent. All right, Jody Davis will lead things off for the Cubbies, followed by Martz and Sandberg. Jody Davis. 5-5, and against Sanderson, that's a strikeout, 1 away. Forgot to put in the defensive thing here for Martz for some reason. He's a 2E10. And he is hitting off pitcher hitting card number 2. So he will use pitcher hitting card number 2 against Sanderson, but we're going off Sanderson's card. 6-7. Ground ball second base X. That is Mr. Sandberg. He's a 3E8. 3 and a 9 is good. E8 and a 10 should also be good. And it is a 3 and a 9. Turns out to be a G3, which is good enough. Out number 2. So that will take care of, actually I shouldn't have been Sandberg. That should have been Flynn. I don't know why I was looking at Sandberg. 2 and a 9 is good. E15 and a 10 should still be okay. E15, no 10. So Flynn makes the play, not Sandberg. I don't know why I was thinking that. I said Sandberg because he's going to lead off this inning, or lead off as the next batter. So that's probably where I got Sandberg from. Anyway, 2 outs, base is clear. It's not an inter-squad game. Expos are in the field. So Sanderson to Sandberg. 4-7, struck him out. So much better inning for Scott Sanderson. He had a rough start to the first, but has a very easy second. We go to the third, 3-0 Cubbies. And Scott Sanderson will lead off for the Expos. He's a good hitter. He uses pitcher hitting card number 6, does Mr. Sanderson. So here is Mr. Sanderson against Martz, but again, we're off the pitcher card, 4-6. And how about that? That's going to be a base hit. 18 and a 6 to 20 is a base hit. So Scott Sanderson gets the base hit off the pitcher card. Randy Martz, so he's aboard. Of course, not going to be held. And they'll flip the order over now to Tim Raines. Nothing on the Havoc. Raines. 6-3, switch hitter batting left. That is a ballpark home run chance right here. 13, just going to miss it. So if we were playing just advanced, that'd be a home run. Actually, it wouldn't because he's got weak power against righties. It'd be a single. But instead with ballparks, it is simply a fly. It says to left, but this really doesn't say where it's going to go. So I'm going to say it's a fly to center, not that it matters. Really is irrelevant. Maybe a fly to right since he's batting left-handed, but I'm going to call it center. I'm going to split the difference and call it center. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm not keeping defensive stats for anything. So here is the Hawk, Andre Dawson. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time up and did steal a base, but was stranded at third. 6-5, and that's a 1 to 10 home run chance. That's a 15, which makes it a double. So that is a double for Dawson. Well, the pitcher Sanderson running, and let's see, Melhall is a +1 arm. With down 3-0, I think they're going to hold the runner. They're going to hold the pitcher at third base. The runners are at second and third. You got the big boys coming up, Oliver and Carter. No sense running yourself out of an inning. 1 out, 2 on in scoring position for Al Oliver. Gary Carter protecting him on deck, so he can't really pitch around Oliver. 5-9 lefty, 5-9's ground ball second base A. That'll score the run and move Dawson to third. So Sanderson comes in on the ground ball with the infield back. They gave up the run to get the out. So RBI ground out for Al Oliver. Expos on the board, 3-1. Runner at third now with 2 down for Gary Carter as March tries to minimize the damage. Carter popped to short his first time up. He had a good chance, but popped it up to short his first time up. 3-8. This time he's going to walk. So Gary Carter will draw the base on balls. Keeps the inning going. He will not be held. And that brings up third baseman Tim Eli Wallach. Nothing going on there. March to Wallach, 5-6. Ground ball second base B. That's good enough to end the inning. And Martz gets out of any further damage. Just the 1 run for the Expos. But Montreal is on the board. At the end of 2.5, it's Cubs 3 and Expos 1. And since we are in September in this replay, we do have a lot of guys on the bench and bullpen, and I'll get to those probably in the 5th or 6th inning when those guys might be more apt to actually enter the game. All right, so Sanderson facing Larry Boa. 2-7 for Boa. He's going to draw a leadoff walk. Leadoff walks usually come back to bite you. Boa will not try to do anything. He will be held, but he won't try to go anywhere. Havoc roll 1, chance for a wild pitch for Sanderson, but it's got to be another 1 again. And it's not, so it's blocked by Gary Carter. Here's Billy Buck. Now again, with Boa being held on, that turns Buckner into a hit and run A. Now we tried this last time and it ended up off of Sanderson's card, but they're going to try it again. Hit and run A. And again, we're off the pitcher card. 6-7. It's ground ball second base X, but the shortstop is the one responsible for holding, so second base does not lose anything. So Flynn's still going to be a 2E15. 2E15. And let's see what we got. 2 and a 6. 2 and a 6 is a G2. And a 13 with an E14. There is no 13. I'm sorry, no, it's an E15 and a 13. My bad, E15 and a 13. Nope, there's a 14 and a 17, but no 13. So it is a ground ball to second, but with the G2, it's a fielder's choice. So even with the hit and run, Boa didn't get a good run out of the box, so it'll be a force play. Buckner is going to be held on as well, but he won't go anywhere. Durham is not a hit and run guy, so they're going to have him swing away. Sanderson to Durham, 6-4. And it's a ground ball shortstop X. So the shortstop is responsible for holding the runner. So Spire again will drop to a 4, E14 coming up. 4 and a 9. That could be trouble. 4 and a 9 is a G3. Let's see. There is a pound sign there. Says if the infielder is responsible for holding the runner, it turns into a single 2 stars. So that will be a single 2 stars. It almost seems like it penalized him twice, though. It seems kind of unfair, but that's just the way it works. 3 and a 9, or 4 and a 9 is that if he was a 3 and a 9, then it wouldn't be that way. But he loses one for holding the runner, and then he gets dinged again. It seems kind of, I don't know, just doesn't seem right, but that's the way I'm interpreting the rules, so we'll go with it. So Durham, a single, moving Buckner to third now. Durham will be held, but he won't try to go anywhere. And that'll bring up Jay Johnstone, infield for the Expos. That's a 1, chance for a wild pitch. And it's a 1, it is a wild pitch, so they don't have to worry about it. So Sanderson balked a run in the first. He's going to wild pitch in a run right here. So you don't have to worry about whether they're going to play the infield in or not because he just wild pitched the run home. So Sanderson having all kinds of ancillary issues, not just the batters, but the balks and the wild pitches. So Durham will be at second base now. Still, he will be held. And here's Jay Johnstone, again checking the havoc, nothing happening. 1 out and 1 in, 4-5, that's a strikeout. First strikeout by Jay Johnstone, 4th for Sanderson. But he's had other issues besides that. Here's Tabler, tripled his first time up. Nothing happening. 2 outs, runner at second. 6-10 against a righty. Ground ball to third, and Mr. Tim Wallach is there. But the wild pitch brings home the run. At the end of 3, Chicago 4, Expos 1. So how about that? That's the good thing about baseball is even the first place teams can get thumped once in a while. And we could be looking at that right now. All right, here is the Crow, Warren Camardi, singled his first time up. Expos got their work cut out for him to score some runs. 6-7, fly ball to center. Boy, 6-6 would have been damaged, but 6-7 is an easy fly to center. 1 down, and that's going to turn it over to Chris Spire. 6-8 against Martz. That's a ground ball to third. Easy play for Tabler, 2 down. Here's Doug Flynn. Martz to Flynn, 1-3. And he's going to foul it out to Tabler, and that's going to end the inning. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Martz. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 3-1. Due up for the Cubbies, Mel Hall, followed by Jody Davis and Randy Martz. Sanderson is set to lead off next inning, but you'd think he could pitch more than 4 innings. We'll wait and see how he does this inning, whether we pinch it for him or not. Mel Hall, 4-8. That's a leadoff walk. Those leadoff walks can come back to bite you. Hall will not be held. Here's Jody Davis. 1, so it's a chance of a wild pitch with another 1. Nope, no wild pitch. Here's Jody Davis. 3-8 for Davis, struck him out. 1 away, and that brings up Randy Martz using pitcher hitting card number 2. With 1 out, he's not going to bunt. He's just going to go ahead and swing away. Sanderson, 4-8. That's a 1-2 single, but that's a 6, so that's a line out to second for out number 2. So 2 down, and that's going to flip the order over to Rhino. Now Hall's still at first. Sanderson to Sandberg, 4-8. That's the same roll we just had. 1-2 is a single, but it's going to be a line out to second. How about that? Got the same roll twice. That's going to do it. Nothing doing there for the Cubbies. So I think we're going to continue with Sanderson. I don't think we're going to pinch it for him quite this early. Just in the 5th inning. They're going to let him keep going. His fatigue is 7. Martz's fatigue is 6. And so Sanderson, who's a pretty decent hitter with a pitcher hitting card 6, they're going to let him swing away. He did get a base hit his first time up. 5-11. That's a ground ball first base X. That is Buckner. He's a 2E12. 2 and an 8 is, he will get to that. So 2 and 8 turns out to be a G2. He is an E12, and that is a 14 on an E12. There's a 15, but no 14, so Buckner does get to it. And, not Buckner, rather. But yeah, Buckner does get to it and flips to Martz. Started writing down the wrong score sheet here. Get that out of there. So it's a 3-1 put out as he flips to Randy Martz covering to retire Sanderson. Here comes Tim Raines. 0 for 2. He did reach on an error, but that's about it. 4-9, switch hitter. He's going to fly to left. 2 down for the Hawk, Andre Dawson. 3-11 for Dawson. That's a ballpark home run chance. 1 to an 11. That is an 11. And Wrigley Field, you can't rob home runs at Wrigley Field. That basket above the ivy is way too high for that. There are no robbed home runs at Wrigley Field that I'm aware of. So that is a home run for Andre Dawson. Home run, Andre Dawson, solo shot, cuts the lead to 4-2. Expos would like to have somebody on base for that, but they at least get the run. And here's Al Oliver. He's grounded to Sandberg twice. 4-9, and this time he will fly to left to end the inning. So Expos get one, cut the lead to 4-2. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Sanderson back out, and he'll be facing Boa, Buckner, and Durham. 3 lefties and a switch hitter and 2 lefties in a row. Sanderson trying to avoid that leadoff walk. 5-11. Well, he might be more than he bargained for here. It's a ballpark home run chance. He has weak power though, plus that's a 19, so that's actually going to be a fly to right. So Boa just missed it a little bit, and easy play out there for Camardi to put it away. Here's Bill Buckner. 6-5, that's a ground ball shortstop X. So Mr. Spire, 3E14. 3-10 is good. E14 and a 7 should be good. And it is a 3 and a 10 for Spire. 3 and a 10 is a G2, but base is empty, it really doesn't matter. Just an out. 2 down for the Bull, Leon Durham. 1-5 for Durham. That is a 1-3 single, but that's a 20, so he's going to line it to second, and the inning's over. So Sanderson gets through 5. Probably will pitch the 6th, and then we'll see what happens after that. Since we're going to start the 6th, and since Randy Martz is in his point of weakness, we'll go ahead now and take a slight break and show the bench and bullpens for both teams. Who they have available out of the bullpen and who they have on their bench. First for the Cubbies, they have 1 lefty in the bullpen. That is Guillermo Don't Call Me Willie Hernandez. Then they also have 4 righties, Mike Proley, Bill Campbell, Dick Tidrow, and Lee Smith. That's the bullpen. Those are the bullpen options for the Cubs. I believe Lee Elia is the manager of the Cubs. Those are options for him. Now, off the bench, they have 5 right-handed hitters off the bench. They got Gary Woods, Steve Henderson, Junior Kennedy, Jerry Morales, and Keith Moreland. 1 switch hitter, Bump Wills, and 1 lefty, Scott Thompson. So that's the complete bench for the Cubbies. Let's look at the Expos. Look at their bullpen. They have 2 lefties, Woody Fryman and Dan Schatzeder. 3 right-handers, Ray Burris, Bryn Smith, and the closer, Jeff Reardon. And off the bench for the Expos, they have not 1, not 2, not 3, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 switch hitters, Jerry White, Tim Blackwell, Wallace Johnson, and Brian Little. They have 2 righties, Dan Norman and Joel Youngblood, and 2 lefties, Brad Mills and Mike Gates. So those are the characters that could partake in this game as the game goes on. We shall see what the strategy might dictate. Here's Randy Martz. This again is his point of weakness inning, facing Gary Carter. Carter 0 for 1, popped to short and walked. 3-8 for Gary Carter, and he will walk again. 2 walks in a row for Gary Carter. He's not going to go anywhere. It won't be held. And that'll bring up Tim Wallach. Nothing happening there. Wallach grounded to whoops. That one jumped ship, so we'll try it again. He's grounded to Sandberg twice, just like Al Oliver did. 3-7 for Wallach, and he's going to ground to Sandberg again. All these hits in column 3, and he found that one again. I believe that's the 2nd time that's happened to him, where he rolled in column 3 and he found that 7. So, but let's see. No, Gary Carter was not being held, so the plus is not going to hurt. It's not going to get through on Sandberg because he was not being held. So Sandberg was not responsible for holding the runner. So therefore, it's just going to be a 4-6-3 double play. 4-6-3 double play. I'm not even sure on the pluses. I think you have to be in for that to happen. I have to look it up on the defensive chart. I'm not sure if the pluses in Super Advance cause that or not, but in our case, it really doesn't matter. So here's Warren Cromartie. That's the thing when you play multiple games, sometimes you can forget about the little idiosyncrasies of different games. Here is Cromartie, 1-7. He's going to strike out. There is no idiosyncrasy there. It's a straight old strikeout. So Randy Martz can still continue, only has one notch against his point of weakness, that being the walk to Carter. We go to the bottom of the sixth, still 4-2, favor of the Expos. I'm sorry, favor of the Cubs, as the Expos try to climb back in this thing. But they've got to hold on and keep the Cubs where they are. It's Jay Johnstone to lead it off against Sanderson. 2-8 for Johnstone, struck him out. One away, and that brings up Pat Tabler. 3-8 for Tabler. He grounds to short. Spire is right there, 2 down. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Mel Hall. So other than the first inning, Sanderson has pitched very well. But you can't take away the first inning. 6-8. 6-8. Oh, that's trouble. As soon as I mention how well he's pitching, he gives up a double to Mel Hall. 2-out double to Mel Hall. Now here's something interesting. Jody Davis is the next batter. The pitcher is on deck, Randy Martz, but they might pinch hit for him because he's tossed 6 innings and might turn to the bullpen. So you either can face Jody Davis or you can face one of the guys off their bench. So I think given those options, they're going to go ahead and pitch to Jody Davis. He has struck out Jody Davis twice, so maybe he figures he's got Jody Davis's number. We shall see. 111. Maybe, maybe not. That's a ballpark home run. That's a 3. It is gone. Jody Davis says number this. A 2-run blast for Jody Davis. Jody Davis eyes hits a 2-run homer, and the threat of the pinch hitter kept him at the plate. And now with a lead of 6-2, they're going to let Martz continue. So Martz will actually go ahead and hit for himself with 2 outs and the bases empty. Sanderson now trailing this game 6-2. He is now tired, but he's going to try to get through the inning. 1-4, and he strikes out the pitcher Martz to end the inning. But that's going to be it for Sanderson. They're going to cap him. He's going to go 6 innings and give up 6 runs. So definitely not a good outing for Mr. Sanderson. Martz, however, will come back out and keep going. Sanderson is actually scheduled to bat third this inning, so they would pinch hit for him anyway. So we will get a pinch hitter for the Expos. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but we'll take a look. See who's on base at the time. Right now, Chris Spire will lead it off, followed by Doug Flynn. So Spire, the batter against Martz. 2-5, and that's a fly to left. 1 away. Now that brings up Flynn. Flynn stepping to the plate. Let's see if they want to pinch hit for Flynn. They might have a couple of pinch hitters here given the score. I think they're going to do that. Let's see who they want to go to here. Off the bench. They really don't have a whole lot on the bench, unfortunately, for the Expos. Most of their pinch hitters are very bad. Best average they have off the bench, sad to say, is Jerry White at 243. So we're going to let Flynn hit because Flynn hit 244. So he's better average than what's on the bench. So they're going to stick with him. That is a 6-8 off of Randy Martz. That's a ground ball to third. And there's a dot. No, not going to be a dot there. I was looking at the one above it. So 2 down, and now we're going to have Jerry White, best pinch hitter the Expos have average-wise, at 243. He will pinch hit for the pitcher. So Jerry White, one of those switch hitters, hitting 243 with 2 home runs. He'll be the pinch hitter. And then we'll get a new pitcher for the Expos. Martz to White. 4-10, switch hitter batting left. 4-10's a catcher X. Go to Jody Davis. He's a 2-E-4. 2 and a 20 is good all day long. E4 and a 6 shouldn't be a problem. We shall see. E4 and a 6. Nope, no problems there. 220 is a G1, so just a little number in front of the plate that Jody Davis pounces on. Throws Jerry White out, and the inning is over. So we're going to the 7th inning stretch with the Cubs comfortably in front 6-2, at least seemingly comfortable in front, although the Expos do have a good lineup, so maybe you can't necessarily rest on your laurels there. That's going to be it for Randy Martz. He's going to go 7 innings, giving up just the 2 runs. So an excellent outing for Randy Martz, but his day is done as well. So the bullpen will be taking over. First for the Expos, they need a new pitcher. And let's see, with the righty switch and a bunch of lefties coming up, they will go to a left-hander out of the pen. they will go to Woody Fryman. 9-4, 3.75 ERA and 12 saves. So Woody Fryman is going to come on and try to keep the game where it is and give his team a chance to potentially form a rally. We shall see. Ryan Sandberg, top of the order, will be up for the Cubs against Woody Fryman. And that is a 5-8 against Woody Fryman. Struck him out. Against that right-hander, he struck him out. One down. Here's Larry Boa. Turns around now and bats right-handed. 5-3. Fly ball left field X. Left fielder is Tim Raines. He's a 4-E3. 4-15. He will get to that. 4-15 will be a G2. I'm sorry, I was looking at G. I'm looking at the ground balls. 4-15 will be an F2. That's a 13. And he is an E3. Nope, it's a 15 but no 13, so it's a good play by Tim Raines. 2 down for Billy Buck. Lefty on lefty matchup. 5-8, and that's a fly to right field. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Woody Fryman. We go to the 8th. It is still 6-2 Cubs. And we'll get a new pitcher for the Cubs. And the new pitcher will be facing the top of the order, Tim Raines and company. So Mart's 7 innings of really good baseball. And now they will turn it to relief pitcher Soup Campbell, Bill Campbell. He is 3-6 with a 3.69 ERA and 8 saves on the season. So Bill Campbell is on. He has the fatigue that he can finish the game if he's effective. Right now he's got to face Tim Raines. 1-7 for Raines. It's a fly to center. One away as Mel Hall hauls it in. In fact, let me go ahead and do this while I'm thinking about it. We're going to go ahead and make some substitutions for the Cubs. We're going to bring in some better defenders. Gary Wood's going to come in and play center field. So Gary Woods is on. He's a 3 just like Mel Hall, but his error rating is a 0. And he's got a -1 arm. So this is, I believe they would do this in the real game. When you got a lead like this, you bring in your defensive team. So Gary Woods is going to come in for Mel Hall. And we'll see if there's any other changes that goes on. Possibly for Johnstone in left. Let's see who they've got in left field that's any good. Not really a whole lot out there that's really good in left field. Third base, Tabler. Who could they go to there? Could go to Kennedy, but he's not all that. He's no better than Tabler is. Could bring in Bump Wills, but he's not very good either to play second and move Sandberg over. So I think we're going to cap it right there. A lot of the bench players for the Cubs just aren't that good defensively. So the one change is Gary Woods is now in. But of course, Mel Hall made the play anyway on that one, so it doesn't matter. One away, and here is Andre Dawson. Campbell, 3-9 to Dawson, struck him out. 2 down, and here's Al Oliver. 4-8, and that's a fly to center. So Bill Campbell, 1-2-3 inning. He's definitely in position to finish the game out, as we're not in a save situation of any kind. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. For the Cubs will be Durham, Johnstone, and Tabler. And of course, Fryman will stay in there. He had pitched a 1-2-3 seventh, so no reason to take him out. Fryman to Durham, 5-3. That's a fly ball left field X. For the Expos, left field is Tim Raines, 4-E3. 4-11, he'll get to that. 4-11, oh, he won't, I'll take it back. 4-11 is a SI2. 4-12 would have been an out. 4-11 is a single. So how about that? He gives up a single. E3, there's no 13 there, but it's a single. So Tim Raines, surprisingly lack of range, gives up the single to Leon Durham. Score 6-2. They're going to hold Durham, but he's not going to go anywhere. Plus Fryman's a -2 to go with Carter's -3. That'd make him -5. And -2 for being held. If Durham would be dropped down to an 8 if he ever got the jump, so they're not going to try it. So here is, we'll roll for the strategy roll just to be sure, nothing. Here's Jay Johnstone. 5-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. Second baseman is not responsible for holding the runner, so he keeps his defensive abilities. 2E15 for Doug Flynn. 2 and 11, probably a fielder's choice, but we'll see. Probably a G2. 2 and 11. Actually, no, 2 and 11 is a G1. Could be a double play. That's an 8. Flynn's a 15. There is no 8, so it's a double play. 4-6-3. He's in like Flynn with the double play on Jay Johnstone. Here's Tabler. 4-7. 1 to 13 is a single. That's a 9, so it, or 6 rather. Either way, it was either 6 or 9. It's a base hit for Pat Tabler. He, of course, will not be held and won't go anywhere. Here's Gary Woods, the new center fielder, getting his first at bat against Woody Fryman. 5-6. He's going to strike out to end the inning. So Woody Fryman pitches 2 innings of shutout relief without giving up anything. And now we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Expos. 6-2 is the score. Bill Campbell coming back out. Cubs do have action in a bullpen, double barrel action. Guillermo Hernandez, the lefty, and Lee Smith, the righty, just in case. Right now it's Gary Carter. He has popped a short and walked twice. 2-5, and this is a leadoff single for Gary Carter. So that's what you need if you're the Expos. You need hits, you need base runners. Carter will not be held. He's definitely not going to go anywhere. And now we got Tim Wallach. 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We are checking a pass ball rating on Jody Davis. His pass ball rating's a 4. That's a 3, so it's a pass ball on Jody Davis. That takes away the double play possibilities. Another strategy roll here for Wallach's at bat. Campbell to Wallach. 6-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. New center fielder Gary Woods is a 3E0. So a 3E0 as opposed to a 3E24. That's why you make that change. 3E0 for Gary Woods. But a 3 and a 2, it doesn't matter. It's going to drop in for a base hit. 3 and a 2 is a double 2 stars, which will score the run automatically. From second base, Gary Carter will score on the double by Wallach. And let's see here, a 10 and an E. Well, he's E0, can't make an error. So double for Wallach, and all of a sudden now it's a 6-3 game. And here's Warren Camardi, the batter. Campbell may not be in this game much longer if he doesn't shape up here. 110, and that's a walk. So he's going to walk Camardi, and that's going to be it for Bill Campbell. They're going to Lee Smith right now. They're not playing around. Lee Smith will be coming on to try to save it for the Cubs. What did you expect, a 1-2-3 9th inning in the game of the week? Come on now. Or as our president would say, come on, man. All right, so Lee Smith is on, facing Chris Spire. And again, the bench of the Expos not very good, so they're going to stick with who they have. They're going to stick with Chris Spire because they really don't have a whole lot on the bench to go to. Lee Smith, strategy roll, nothing happening. Nobody out though, so the tying run is at the plate and nobody is out. Here's Spire, Lee Smith to Spire, 1-2. Ballpark home run chance. He does have normal power. That's a 6. That's an 11. It is gone. Chris Spire, a 3-run home run. He greets Lee Smith, Hall of Famer, who gives up yet another classic Lee Smith home run allowed. I have no idea why the guy got in the Hall of Fame, but there you go. He's true to form when giving up the home runs. 4 runs now for the Expos. We got a tie game at 6. Now the Expos trying to take the lead. They'll bring in Jeff Reardon if that's the case. Here's Doug Flynn. Then we need a pinch hitter for Woody Fryman as well. So Lee Smith just crapped the bed, and we got a tie game at 6. Still nobody out. So it's a brand new ball game. Here's Doug Flynn. 4-9, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Boa. He is a 3E21. 3-1. It's going to get through for a base hit. E21 and an 11 for a shortstop. No 11, but it is going to be a base hit. Base hit for Doug Flynn. Leadoff man is on, or the winning run is on. And now we do need a pinch hitter for the pitcher. See if we can find a good bunter. Who's somebody on the bench that can bunt? And all their guys are like D bunters. Every single one of these guys is a D bunter. Look at that. Look at all those D bunters. We got nothing but D bunters here. Out of all those guys, we got D bunters. We already used Jerry White. But the remaining 7 hitters, every single one of them is a sacrifice rating of D. So pretty much not even worth bunting with them. Let's see if we can find a hit. They will go with, boy, just terrible. We find the next best average, I guess. Mike Gates is the next best average for a lefty, 231. So Mike Gates, no relation to Bill. Mike Gates, gonna see if he's money on this one. First, Lee Smith with the strategy roll, nothing happening. And now Guillermo Hernandez is also still loosening the Cubs bullpen. He may have to come in and rescue Lee Smith. Gates, 6-7. 1-12 is a single. That's a 9. It's a base hit, 1 star. And the hit parade keeps coming against Lee Smith. First and second, still nobody out. And now you got the top of the order and Tim Raines coming up, followed by Dawson and Oliver. So let's see what he does here. Smith, give him a little bit more leash. Nothing on the Havoc. Here's the pitch to Raines. 3-4. Ballpark single check. That's a 9. He's a switch hitter batting left, which means that's a 14. It's a base hit. Bases are loaded. The bases are loaded with still nobody out. And now the infield's going to have to come in for Andre Dawson. This is going to be the last batter for Lee Smith. Guillermo Hernandez is set to come in to face Al Oliver, but they want to go righty on righty against Dawson with the infield in. 5-3. That's a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 3-E12 as a pitcher. Lee Smith, 3-E12. 3 and a 10. 3 and a 10 for a pitcher is a G3. So even with the infield in, the run's going to score. But that's a 5, so it's a rare play G3. This is getting even better now. Rare play G3. So let's go up here to G3. Whoops. Let's go up here to G3. Where are you, G3? There you are down here. Rare play. Batter lines a shot that hits the mound and deflects to the fielder and makes the play to first for the out. All runners advance 1 base. So what fielder? We don't know. I'll roll the dice and figure it out. It went to third. Okay. So we're going to call it a 5-3 ground out. But everybody advances. It turns to like a ground ball C. So everybody's going to advance, including Doug Flynn, who scores the go-ahead run. That's 5 runs now for the Expos. And they're looking for more. Is Al Oliver, the 9th man to bat in the innings, coming up. Lee Smith is out of there. And Guillermo Hernandez is coming on. 4-6, 3 ERA of even 3, and 10 saves. And now, since they have the lead, Jeff Reardon is loosening in the bullpen. Thought Jeff Reardon would get the day off, but boy, the Expos just come back with a vengeance here in the 9th against the Cubs. That's why they're leading the division and probably going to swamp the Dodgers in the NLCS, but we'll see. Second and third, 1 out, and they're going to play the infield in. They kind of have to. Hernandez lefty on lefty to Al Oliver. 3-9 for Oliver. That's a 1 for a single, but it's a line out to second. So Oliver lines out. Everybody holds fast. They did bat around. Now Gary Carter, who led off the inning with a single off of Lee Smith, is now coming on to see if he can get another base hit. There are 2 outs now. Second, third, the infield could go back to normal. You could walk Carter and pitch to Wallach, but Wallach had that big double last time, so I think you got almost going to have to pitch to Carter. Got to pick your poison. 2-5, and against a lefty, 2-5 is a single, but it's a clutch. So that means with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, that turns into an out. And I believe it's a pop out to short for a right-handed hitter. So Gary Carter fails in the clutch, but the Expos do not, as they pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs here in the top of the 9th and take a 7-6 lead over the Cubbies. Last chance for the Cubbies here in the bottom of the 9th, and they'll have to do it against closer Jeff Reardon. So Jeff Reardon will be on. And on the 82 season, he was 7-4, ERA of 2.06 and 26 saves. Pretty darn impressive. So Jeff Reardon is on. He'll be facing Jody Davis, a pinch hitter for Guillermo Hernandez, and then Ryan Sandberg. So on the bench for the Cubs, they do have Scott Thompson, who is a very good hitter at 365. So he will pinch hit for the pitcher. So you're going to have Jody Davis, Scott Thompson, and Ryan Sandberg due up for the Cubs. Here in the bottom of the ninth, trailing it 7-6 when they led the game 6-2 after 8. But the 5 runs, ninth inning, told the tale. All right, so Jody Davis first off against Jeff Reardon. Bottom of the ninth, 7-6 Expos. 4-5. Jeff Reardon, 4-5, hits a leadoff double off of Jeff Reardon. Jody Davis just cracks a leadoff double. Now, I think they're going to run for Jody Davis because they want to get that run across. So we will get a pinch runner for Jody Davis. Let's see who they have that can run. Keith Moreland will come in and catch if it goes extras. But Bump Wills, I think, is going to be the guy that comes in and, or do they want to save him as a pinch hitter? No, I think Bump Wills is going to come in and run. So Bump Wills is going to run for Jody Davis. And he is a 17 base runner. Jody Davis was a 9. He's not threatening to steal, but he will have to be held on, where Jody Davis wasn't going to have to be held on. So Bump Wills is the pinch runner. Got excellent speed, and here's Scott Thompson. Reardon, nothing on the havoc. The pitch to Scott Thompson, who has a many single 2 stars on his card. If he hits a column 3, most likely it's a tie game. Column 1-7 is still a walk. 1-7 is a walk. So runners at first and second now, as the winning run is on base. And Scott Thompson, who doesn't run that badly either. So good speed on the bases. Sandberg is a B bunter. You could try to bunt them over. That would make him a C bunter. That's the play they're going to go for. He's going to be a C bunter. And we get an 8 on the bunting chart. C bunter and an 8. C bunter and an 8 is a good sacrifice. I didn't need the D20. I needed the D6 to see who fields it. It is a 6, which means it is fielded by the third baseman. So sacrifice bunt. Wallach, his only play is to throw to first. Goes 5-4 with second baseman Flynn covering. But now Bump Wills is at third. And the winning run, Scott Thompson, is at second. For Ryan Sandberg, they could bring the infield in and then pitch to Boa and look for a double play. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to intentionally... I'm sorry, Boa is the batter. I got confused there. Boa is the batter. Do you walk? I don't think you walk Boa to get to Buckner, so they're just going to pitch to Boa. Infield is in. He doesn't have too many pluses. He doesn't have hardly any. I don't think he has any. He's got 1 plus right here to 1-7. Would get through a drawn-in infield. Everything else, they're safe to play the infield in. So, infield is in for Jeff Reardon and the Expos, trying to cut that run down. 3-5 for Boa. That's a fly ball right field B question mark. That's a chance for a sacrifice fly. Now, Bump Wills, remember, runs very well. Bump Wills, the pinch runner, runs at a 17. That's why we pinch ran for Jody Davis, who would have only been a 9. He's a 17. The right fielder, Camardi, is a 0 arm. So let me make sure I've got my rule book out to make sure I don't mess this one up. Fly ball to right field. We're going to add 2 to the outfielder arm, the speed, and then we add 2. So Bump Wills is a 17, 0 arm, plus 2 is a 19. So anything other than a 20, we got a tie game. And we got a tie game. Sacrifice fly for Boa. As the throw is not in time, the pinch runner, Bump Wills, comes in to score, ties the game at 7. Turned out to be a very interesting game of the week after all, despite the standings. So now with 2 outs, and it's a blown save for Reardon. So now 2 outs, and the winning run is at second base in Scott Thompson. Bill Buckner is the batter. You could walk him and pitch to Durham, because because his run doesn't mean anything, but Durham's got a better card, it looks like. So they'll go ahead and pitch to Buckner. Reardon to Buckner. 4-10. That's a walk, so unintentional walk. But now puts runners at first and second with 2 down for the Bull, Leon Durham. He is the last chance for the Cubs to win it in regulation. Reardon to Durham. 5-6. Fly to center. We're going to extra innings on the game of the week. Extra innings on the game of the week, tied at 7. And not what I was planning on having happen when the score was 6-2, but that's why you roll the dice and play the game. So who's going to come in for the Cubs now? They've already used Hernandez, Smith, and Campbell. So they're going to go to Dick Tidrow out of the bullpen. Dick Tidrow will be the new pitcher, and also the new catcher is Keith Moreland. Got to keep in mind that Keith Moreland is the new catcher. So I need to bring Keith Moreland into the game, as he is the new catcher for Jody Davis. And Keith Moreland, not a very good catcher, not anywhere close to Jody Davis, but they were playing for offense, so you can't really blame him. He's a 4+2 E7 with a T8 and a P3. So definitely not as good, but what are you going to do? You had to have the offense there. There was really no choice. All right, so Dick Tidrow is coming on for the Cubbies to pitch the 10th. And for the Expos, it'll be Wallach, Camardi, and Spire here in the top of the 10th, tied at 7 here in the game of the week. September 11th style, 1-4 for Tim Wallach. He fouls out to third, 1 away. And that sends us to Warren Camardi. 6-5 for Camardi. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Boa. He's a 3 E21. 3 and a 19 is good. A 10, I'm sure E21 and 10 should be fine. 10s aren't usually errors. E21 and 10 is fine. Yep, good play for Larry Boa. 2 down, and that's going to send us to Chris Spire. 4-6 for Tidrow. Struck him out. So 1-2-3 inning for Tidrow here in the top of the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th. And do they bring back Reardon? Or what do they want to do with Reardon? Let's see. I think they're going to go to the bullpen. Let's see who's coming up for the Cubs. They got Johnstone, Tabler, and Woods. 2 righties would be coming up. So they're going to go to Bryn Smith. Bryn Smith is on to pitch for the Expos. Bryn Smith was 2-4, 4.20 ERA, 1 start and 3 saves. He has a pretty decent fatigue number, but they really just wanted to pitch the 10th because they pinch hit for him in the bottom or the top of the 11th if it gets that far. Right now they're just worried about the bottom of the 10th. So Jay Johnstone will be facing Bryn Smith. 4-7. That's a 1-5 single, but that's an 11, so it's a ground ball to first. 1 away, and that's going to send up Pat Tabler. 3-5, that's a strikeout. So Bryn Smith gets the strikeout. We could be going to the 11th. Here's Keith Moreland, his first at bat. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be Keith Moreland. It should be Gary Woods. I got them backwards here. Gary Woods is actually the batter, not Keith Moreland's on deck. It is Gary Woods the batter. Don't want to bat him out of order. 2-8. 2-8 is a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there. We go to the 11th. Still tied at 7 apiece. Here from Wrigley. And it's beginning to be a battle of attrition. Good thing you got the extra players for the bullpen. Extra pitchers, I mean, for the bullpen. And they got extra guys off the bench. So Bryn Smith is done. He pitched his 1 inning. He's going to be pinch hit for because he bats third. Actually, he bats second this inning. It's going to be Flynn, a pinch hitter, against Dick Tidrow, who's in his 2nd inning of work. And the pinch hitter will be Brad Mills. They don't have much left, but they're going to play the percentages if we go to a lefty. He's a 224 hitter, so take that with a grain of salt. Brad Mills. I believe he managed at one point. Thought he did. Maybe he didn't. Thought he did. At least in the minors, if not in the majors. Anyway, here's Tidrow to Flynn, top of the 11th, tied at 7. 5-6. That's a fly to left field. And Flynn is retired. Now the pinch hitter, Brad Mills, steps to the plate. Against Tidrow, 5-5. That's a fly to right, 2 down. So Tidrow pitching really well. Here's Tim Raines. 5-7, and that is a fly to center. So the 11th inning is done. Nothing doing, and I'm going to have to start keeping score on another piece of paper, it looks like, because my score sheet's about to run out. New pitcher for the Expos, as Bryn Smith's day is done. That'll be it for Tidrow as well. He's scheduled to bat second after Keith Moreland. So first things first, we need a new pitcher for the Expos, and they need somebody with some length, so they will go to, well, they only got one guy left, really, because they've used Fryman, Schatzeder, Reardon, Smith, and Sanderson. So Ray Burris, it's Ray Burris or bust from here on out. He is a starter. He started 15 games, but he does have a relief rating. 4-14 with a 4.73 ERA. So Ray Burris is on, and he'll be facing Moreland, a pinch hitter for the Cubs. And that pinch hitter, see, they got left on the bench that's any good. Not a whole lot. They've got Morales, Henderson, and Kennedy. Those are the 3 remaining. Everyone else has been used. So let's see. Morales is 284. He's the best they've got. So it will be Jerry Morales. So Moreland followed by Morales. So Jerry Morales will pinch hit. Unless Moreland walks it off with a home run to lead off the inning, which is highly unlikely. But anyway, Keith Moreland will lead things off against Ray Burris. 1-7, and that's a single, leadoff single for Ray Burris. I'm sorry, for Keith Moreland off of Ray Burris. Leadoff single. And that brings up Jerry Morales. Now, do they call him back and go with somebody that can bunt? But again, we looked before, they're all D bunters. So, actually, no, they're not. Junior Kennedy's a B bunter. So we're going to call Morales back. We're not going to announce him officially. We're going to call him back, save him for another time if they need him. They're going to bring in Junior Kennedy to pinch hit because he's a B bunter versus a D bunter. So Morales is still in the game on the bench. He's still able to be used, but will bunt with Junior Kennedy. He is a B bunter, becomes a C bunter. C bunter and a 7. That should be okay. C bunter and a 7. C bunter and a 7 is a good sacrifice. The white die is a 4. Went to the first baseman. So first baseman Al Oliver, all he could do was tag Kennedy. Coming up the line, sacrifice successful. Winning run is at second base in the slow-moving Keith Moreland, but they have no other catcher, so they can't run for him. So he'll have to try to get through there as best he can. Sandberg, the batter. Sandberg a chance to win the game. 1-7. It's a ground ball to third, 2 down. And Moreland stays at second base. So 2 down, it's up to Larry Boa to get it done against Ray Burris. 4-5, switch hitter batting left. 4-5 is a ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Spire, 3-14. 3 and an 8. I think he's going to get to this. Let's see, 3 and an 8. If he doesn't, the game's over. 3 and 8 is a G3 with a pound sign, but they weren't holding the runner, so it didn't matter. So he gets to it. He is an E14, and that is a 9. E14, there is no 9, so we're going to the 12th. And I'm going to start keeping score on the back of a page here, I think. So we'll do that. We start at the top of the 12th. Top of the 12th, and I'll just write down the lineup as they come up here in the top of the 12th as I ran out of room on the score sheet. So Dick Tidrow was pinch hit for, so we need a new pitcher for the Cubs. They don't have many left. In fact, they've got one left, and it is right-hander Mike Proley. So it's Proley and Burris the rest of the way for the Cubs and the Expos. Mike Proley, 5-3, 2.30 ERA and a save, so not bad. So Mike Proley is on to pitch. Mike Proley. And he'll be facing the Hawk, Andre Dawson, Al Oliver, and Gary Carter. Make sure I've got the right, that I am correct with using Dawson as the next hitter. Yes. So it's 2, 3, and 4 hitter. Dawson, Camardi, and Carter. I'm sorry, Dawson, Oliver, and Carter. So we got Dawson, Oliver, and Carter here in the top of the 12th. Yes, fancy scorekeeping. When you run in a room, you have to improvise. So here you go. Like Clint Eastwood said in that movie, improvise, adapt, overcome. That was Heartbreak Ridge. All right, one of my more favorite movies I like to watch from time to time. All right, Crowley to Dawson, top of the 12th. Tied at 7. 5-8 on Crowley. Ground ball, second base, X. Second baseman, and now I got to flip it over again because I got to get the rate. No, I can get them off the thing here. Sandberg, I'll just look at his card to get the rating. 3E8. 3 and an 8 should be good. 3 and an 8 is good. And that is a 15. E8 and a 15. There's a 16 and a 17, but no 15. So good play for Ryan Sandberg as Dawson is retired. Here's Al Oliver. 6-4. Lefty, fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Gary Woods. He's a 3E0. We know he's not going to make an error, so we've got to see if he gets to it. A 3 and a 3. He may not get to this. 3 and a 3 is going to be a double. So it's a double for Al Oliver as Gary Woods was unable to get to that. Al Oliver will not be held at second base. Crowley now to Carter. Carter a chance to drive home the go-ahead run. 6-6. Ground ball to third. It's going to freeze the runner at second. So 2 down. And now it's up to Tim Wallach. If the Expos want to take the lead here this inning against Crowley. Wallach facing Crowley. 2-11. That's a split chance. 1-9 is a single, but that's a 15, so it's a line out to short. And we are going to the bottom of the 12th. Bottom of the 12th. And of course, we still have Ray Burris pitching for the Expos. And now let's see who's coming to the bat for the Cubbies. It'll be Buckner, Durham, and Johnstone. 3 lefties in a row. Buckner, Durham, and Johnstone are up for the Cubs. Bottom of the 12th, tied at 7. Burris to Buckner, 5-2. Ground ball first base, X. First baseman for the Expos is Al Oliver, and he is a 4E20. 4 and a 15 is good. E20 and a 4, that could be interesting. E20 and a 4 for first baseman. E20, nope, there's no 4. There's a 6, but no 4. So good play. It's going to be scored 3-1 as he flips to Burris covering. 1 away for Leon Durham. The Bull trying to end it. 6-7, and that's a single. So 1 out single for Leon Durham, and he's a threat to run. Burris is a +2. Carter is a -3. Aggregate of a -1. So plus being held as a -2 makes him a -3. Be a 1-12 if he got the jump, so he's going to try it. They got to try something. To 10, 2 through 9 or a 12 to get a jump, and he gets a 10, so no jump. So that's a moot point. And here's Jay Johnstone. 6-5, that's a strikeout. He's not tired yet. That is a strikeout. Johnstone gets the K. 2 down, and it's up to Pat Tabler. 3-8 for Tabler. Ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. And we're going to the top of the 13th. Here at Wrigley Field. Good thing I got my little lamp on because this game would be called for darkness probably if it went this far. Warren Camardi will lead things off for the Expos. Here in the top of the 13th, tied at 7-7. Want to put that out there. Spire is the next batter, and then second baseman Doug Flynn. And then we're going to get to the pitcher, Burris, and he's going to have to hit. I mean, they have no other options. They have no other pitchers. So Ray Burris is going to hit if it gets to that. All right, here's Crowley to Cromartie. 3-6 for Camardi is a leadoff walk. Do you bunt with Spire? Spire is a C bunter, becomes a D bunter, but they're going to try it. They're going to try to. They got to do something. He's a D bunter. D bunter and a 4. A 4, D bunter and a 4. D bunter and a 4 is still a good sacrifice. The white die is a 5, which means it went to the first baseman Buckner. He will just tag Spire coming up the line as he gives himself up for the out. So go ahead run is at second base with 1 out for Doug Flynn. Proly to Flynn. Oops. Proly to Flynn. 5-4. 5-4. Ground ball third base X. Third baseman for the Cubbies. Not very good. It is Tabler. He's a 3E20. 3 and a 10, he'll get to it. E20 and an 8. E20, there is no 8. The 3 and the 10 is a G3. I'm sorry, G2. So the runner cannot advance. It's just going to be a 5-3 ground out, 2 down. And now we've got Doug Flynn. I'm sorry, Ray Burris, the batter. He uses pitcher hitting card number 2, so to bring that back into play, pitcher hitting card number 2 for Ray Burris. Strategy roll for Proly. Nothing happening. Proly to Burris. 4-9. Fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So we're going to the bottom of the 13th. Still tied at 7. And let's see who we've got for the Cubs against Burris. We have Woods, Moreland, and a pinch hitter for Proly. And they're going to probably have to go into their starters to get somebody, pull somebody that wasn't really available to come in and pitch some more, because Proly may or may not be able to go. He's already gone 2 innings. Actually, he can go 3 innings. So they're going to let Proly hit. He's not a bad hitter. He's got a 5 rating there. So they're going to go to the number 5 pitcher hitting card, and let him hit. So it will be Woods, Moreland, and Proly due up here in the bottom of the 13th for the Cubs against Ray Burris. All right, so Woods facing Burris. 6-4, fly ball center field X, center fielder for the Expos. One Andre Dawson is a 1E9, so we know he's going to get to it as a 1. We're just checking for an E9. E9 and an 11. Check that result. Center fielder, E9. There is no 11, so it's a good play for Andre Dawson to retire Woods. Here's Keith Moreland. 6-7, and that's a straight-out double for Keith Moreland. Keith Moreland with a double. And now that brings up the pitcher Proly. Like I said, he is a good hitting pitcher. He's using hitting card number 5. So he's going to see what he can do against Burris. 3-7, and it's a single 2 stars, and Mike Proly wins the game. How do you like that? A pitcher, a relief pitcher, using pitcher hitting card number 5 wins the game on a pinch hit single. Oh, not a pinch hit, but a pitcher hitting single. Mike Proly using pitcher hitting card number 5. There he is. He gets the walk-off single. The Cubs win it by the score of 8-7. Player of the game is Mike Proly. Not only did he pitch 2 innings of solid shutout relief, but he gets the game-winning hit. So Cubs win it. Cubs win it 8-7. They blew it and then came back and won it. Ray Burris takes the loss. And talk about a wild game of the week. There you have it. All right, so the September 11th version is done. And now we get Brew City, Brew Crew coming up. The next 2 weeks are going to be the Brew Crew. On the 18th, they are at home facing the Yankees. Be Bob McClure against Jay Howell. And then on the 25th, they're at home again facing the Orioles. Jim Palmer against Pete Vukovich. So next 2 Saturdays, it is going to be Brew Crew City. So we haven't seen really the Brewers all very much in the game of the week, if at all. And we get them now because it's going to be crunch time in the playoff, for a playoff push. I will have the standings for next Saturday's game, in the American League. The National League races are pretty much done. Even with the Cubs winning here, they're still like 8 games back or 7 games back. So all the festivities is going on in the American League, particularly the American League East. So I will have all that updated next week for you. And a wild one is all I can say about it. Cubs win it. Cubs win it 8-7 over the Expos in 13 innings. Winning pitcher Mike Proley also had the game-winning hit. Ray Burris takes the loss. Next Saturday we'll be at County Stadium in Milwaukee. In fact, we'll be there 2 weeks in a row. And it'll be those New York Yankees taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. So until next time, hope you enjoyed that presentation of the NBC Strat-O-Matic Game of the Week. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.